A Ma Maniere just released their newest collection. What do I think about it? We're going to get into that this time on Fire Footwear. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Fire Footwear. As always, this is your host, Matt Freites, and today we're going to talk about the While You Were Sleeping collection unveiled by A Ma Maniere. A Ma Maniere is no stranger to the sneaker game. They have done tons of collaborations up until this point. However, recently, they unveiled their large collection of 6 different silhouettes as part of the While You Were Sleeping collection. It includes an Air Jordan 3, an Air Jordan 4, an Air Max 95, an Air Force 1 Low, a Converse Weapon Low, and an Air Jordan 39. This collection is impressive. It certainly has its own color scheme, its own color palette. It's trying to tell a certain story. But I think the real story has to do with what does this move mean in terms of A Ma Maniere and Nike's relationship. While the shoes are fire, some of them, there are certainly some silhouettes in there that are going to speak to old heads in the culture, and I'm talking specifically about the Air 95. There are some, like the Converse, that are going to speak specifically to basketball heritage in terms of Converse. One of the things that people aren't talking enough about is the fact that this collection is one of 2 to collaborate with Nike, Jordan, and Converse in the same collection. And the last time that happened, the only time that happened, was the 10 collection of Virgil Abloh and Off-White. And what I think is happening here is that Nike is looking to crown a flagship collaborator. Maybe that's reading a little bit too much into it, but when I look at it, I think Nike wants to establish a brand like A Ma Maniere as their go-to for collaborators. And yes, they could have given this to a lot of other brands. Some of the ones that come to mind are Union, maybe even Undefeated. But honestly, I think A Ma Maniere has put in the work. They certainly have the body of work to prove that they are capable of putting out fire collaborations. And so maybe at the end of the day, they've earned it. But here's my concern. Maybe it's a little, too late for this particular flagship brand. Are we at the point of oversaturation with A Ma Maniere? I would contend that we are. If you look at the release of the Air Jordan 3, they sat for a lot longer than I anticipated that they would. And I think that's because we've already seen an Air Jordan 3 from A Ma Maniere. We've already seen an Air Jordan 4. The Air Jordan 39, while maybe a fire collaboration with A Ma Maniere themselves, it's a hooping shoe. People aren't going to wear it on the streets. And so that already kind of diminishes this collection's place in history, despite what I said earlier. And so I think Nike is trying to do something for the future here, but also thinking about the past. And I kind of wonder if this is a misstep. I would feel a little bit differently if they had given this mantle to A Ma Maniere 4 or 5 shoes ago, but they didn't. A Ma Maniere has certainly earned it, no doubt, and they're not going to take this lightly. But what worries me is that this flagship has already run its course. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments or call area code 202-643-9170 to leave your opinions on the A Ma Maniere collection in the Fire Footwear voicemail. I'd love to play it on a future episode of the audio pod. If you've not found the audio pod, you can find it wherever you find your podcast, Fire Footwear, a sneaker podcast with Matty Ice. I'd love to know your opinions. You can also find the show on Instagram at Fire Footwear Pod, where I have a group chat of all listeners of the show. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. This is Fire Footwear.